Let's get to the Friday feedback on Friday, the day we normally do this. Last week we did Thursday because of my travel, threw a lot of people off. People thought it was Friday on Thursday. They ended up not going to work the next day, so I don't want to throw anybody off. So we're going to keep Friday feedback on Friday. And remember that info@davidpakman.com is the email address you can write into anytime if you have something to say. Sometimes TikTok comments, YouTube comments, Twitter stuff sometimes will be included. And of course, the subreddit. Let's start today on YouTube, where Christine Chavez has a beautiful message where she says, you and Don Lemon should podcast together and name it Stupidity Is Us. You both are the saddest men ever to hit the podcast world. You know, I actually think that this is a great message to receive. Because although you might not agree with Don Lemon, to say he's stupid seems very much not true. And so if Christine sees Don as stupid and she sees me as stupid, maybe neither one of us is dumb. I'm choosing to interpret this one more positively. But Christine, good luck to you. Sounds like there's a lot of negativity in your life. I don't know what else I can say. Dave CC 1964 comes to us today from the subreddit and says, Harris's betting market collapse. Poly market has Trump way ahead. Predict it had Harris ahead, but flipped. Trump now ahead. What happened? Is this thing over? And Dave goes on to say, it looks like Trump is surging in betting markets. National polls moving to Trump. Swing states slipping away for Harris. It looks like it's over. What happened? Wondering whether it was the hurricane or Elon Musk or Twitter changing the momentum. Well, listen, there are a number of reasons that we've seen this momentum shift in the betting markets. And I know that on this program, there are people who get so upset with me when I simply say, hey, it's not looking awesome. Trump may win. Yes, Harris may win, but Trump may win. People say, David, you're not going to encourage anyone to vote like that. I don't know that that makes any sense. If you're worried your candidate might lose, that should encourage you to vote. But as everyone knows, I call it like I see it. The VP debate being essentially a non-factor probably started a tightening in the polls. Some less, I don't know what to call it. It's not less positive, but less boisterously positive news cycles for Kamala Harris probably aren't helping, and we expected it to tighten, and it is. And it's just a reminder that we must vote. Now, also from subreddit, Fallen Knight has a different perspective on what's actually going on. And Fallen Knight writes, I'm convinced nothing either candidate does matters right now. Writing, I've been following the polling closely, and it's been odd. Harris does everything right, goes on interviews, being positive and hopeful, trying to broaden the coalition. Trump is over here doing absolutely the opposite, rambling speeches, losing his mind on social media, making up lies, along with his normal vaguely racist comments like Barack Hussein Obama, which the media doesn't cover enough. As the race gets close, though, we just see the polls tightening. My theory is people are generally not doing so great financially, myself included. They just want to replace the current administration with anyone. I'm fairly certain a dog would be polling close in Pennsylvania right now. Just my very not educated opinion on what has been a baffling race for me. Harris is pitching an almost perfect game and Trump is getting destroyed, but it might not matter. I think this is basically right. The things I mentioned before are post facto explanations, and it's not that they aren't real explanations, but if we zoom out, we expected it to tighten regardless. We expected a regression to the mean, which is that in this country right now, there are enough people who love terrible ideas and enough people who will never vote for Democrats and enough people who will never vote for a woman. You add it all up and you get enough people at least potentially voting for Trump that the guy could win. That's where I believe we are. It sounds like Fallen Knight agrees. John Cunningham wrote on YouTube, Tim Walz is the most ordinary person I've ever seen run for a political office this high. I'm embarrassed to have ever been a Republican. P.S. That sweater is awful. Well, Sweater notwithstanding, yeah, in a lot of ways, Tim Walz is a very normal guy. If the reports are to be believed, his net worth is in the $300,000 range, which for people his age who own a home is very average. It's not even high average. It's very, very average. The question will be, and it's mostly a question about Kamala Harris, but in part the question will be, do the American people, or enough of them, want a, quote, normal guy, not an elite by any stretch of the definition of that? Do they want a normal guy as VP to Kamala Harris? And we will find out soon. A username that I cannot read because it's written in a language whose alphabet I am not familiar with, says if he thinks, referring to Trump, if he thinks people should go to jail for criticizing judges, shouldn't Trump himself be behind bars? Yeah, you have to understand that all of Trump's standards only apply to other people. Support law and order and the troops no matter what, except for when you don't because you're ranting about Democrats and how you should be forgiven and the whole justice system can't be trusted. It's weaponized against you. With all of this stuff, it's here are my principles until they're no longer convenient. And Trump has talked about jailing people for criticizing the Supreme Court justices. And yet Trump criticized judges all the time. JR wrote in and said, nothing is sadder than American working class and small business folks sucking up to a celebrity who hates and exploits them. I love this message because I've been talking about this for so long and so many people either don't get it or they don't want to admit it. Trump hates his followers, the vast majority. Now I know in the rallies, he'll play up that he likes them or he'll shake hands with people or whatever. But Trump has spent his entire life as a rich guy from New York trying to be kept isolated from large swaths of the very people that now support him. And he cares about them, cares in terms of how they're useful to him. Can you donate money at this point, or are we done with donations? Can you vote for me, or has the voting ended? Are you pledging unflinching loyalty to me, either as a voter or as a candidate or whatever? If not, then I have no use for you. This is the Trump. And it is sad that more of his voters don't realize this guy doesn't like you. He doesn't like you at all, and he's using you. Many of them seem to want to be used, which is a whole other psychological phenomenon. L2 Lagrange says, I would love to see somebody interview the people who are leaving Trump rallies early. I'd like to see Luke Beasley or Jordan Klepper spend a majority of a Trump rally outside interviewing the people leaving early. I think it'd be funny to hear what they have to say. In particular, I wonder what excuses they would make for why they didn't stay the entire time. You know, after we're done with the show today, I'm going to send Luke Beasley a message and see if he's going to any upcoming Trump rallies. I think asking them why they're leaving would be great. I think with some, you would get perfunctory answers like, I came from far away and I have to drive home. I'm really sick and tired of being out in the sun, or it's too hot. You'd get those answers from a bunch of people, but you'd probably find some willing to acknowledge what others have acknowledged, which is, you know, an entire rally full of insulting people. It's just not for me. I'm going home. Or it's the same speech he's been giving for 3 years. It's just, I'm going home. I think it'd be an interesting mix, and I would love to see Luke do that. Ron is grateful. Says, I see you love to bash Jill Stein, but she'd probably be a way better president than Kamala Harris. For sure, way better for the Middle East, because Harris is a warmonger, just as all the other presidents have been. For the people of Palestina, it doesn't make any difference if Trump is in the White House or Harris. Well, even the uncommitted movement leaders have acknowledged whether Trump or Kamala Harris is in the White House makes a big difference for the people of Palestine. So, Ron, I would check with the uncommitted movement. Far be it for me to speak for them. But let me go back to where you started this message. Jill Stein would be a way better president than Kamala Harris. I do not think there's any evidence to suggest that. I don't think there's any evidence to suggest that Jill Stein is better suited for the number and breadth and seriousness of the things a president deals with every single day than Kamala Harris. I think Kamala Harris is better suited than Trump temperamentally and in so many other ways, including experience. And I think Kamala Harris is way better suited than Jill Stein. For me, the Jill Stein thing is not, I don't think she can win, although she obviously can't. It's, I don't want her to win. She doesn't appeal to me. Her candidacy doesn't appeal to me. Her experience and background don't appeal to me. And her connection to Putin and Russia is only an even bigger red flag. Before I even knew about that, the Jill Stein thing wasn't for me. But even more so now, it is just not for me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the pre-order campaign for my forthcoming book, The Echo Machine, continues. I have an uncorrected proof of the book right here. It's a beautiful book, letters and words, the letter E, many instances of the letter E, all vowels used extensively in this book, as well as many words and paragraphs. I, much like Donald Trump, struggled to use language to communicate something of meaning in the book. Unlike Trump at his rallies, I think I was able to do it. And so I am so thankful to everybody who has pre-ordered the book. You can go to davidpakman.com/echo. You can find the book called The Echo Machine on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Audible, Apple audiobooks, anywhere books, audiobooks, or ebooks are sold. I will update you Monday on pre-order totals. And remember that you can get all the free goodies with the book by going to davidpakman.com/free book stuff, all one word. Fill out that form, upload your receipt. We've got a bonus show for you today. We have new shows all of next week. And folks, it's 2.5 weeks until the election. Wow.